Good evening, everyone. It's a wonderful evening, and I welcome all of you listening to this program from all across India. A very, very warm welcome from the entire team of Caregiver Saathi. There's a quote that I have read that a child gives birth to a mother. And when a mother welcomes the child, and when a woman welcomes a child, that is when the first step into motherhood begins. A mother will do everything in her capability to take care of her child. There's a quote by Robert Brault which says, "A parent's love is whole, no matter how many times it's divided and which way it's given." So today I have a very special mother with us. Padma is here to share her extraordinary story with everyone listening to this conversation. Padma lives by one mantra, and that mantra touched my heart. My heart is still reverberating with what she shared with me yesterday. So I'll share her mantra with all of you. She says, quote, "All of us are here for a reason. It's my duty and privilege to be my angel's caregiver," unquote. With that, I welcome Padma to this conversation. Welcome, Padma, and
Thank
please,
you, Vandana.
our viewers would like to know a little about you, Padma.
My name is Padma. I'm a mother to a young adult with special needs. My daughter's name is Priyanka. We stay in Bangalore, Karnataka. I'm basically a homemaker since my most of my time goes in taking care of my child. I'm the primary caregiver, but I'm really blessed to have her in my life.
Thank you so much, Padma, and I welcome you with a huge hug from the entire team of Caregiver Saathi. When you spoke about your beautiful angel and your daughter Priyanka, we all would like to know how this caregiving journey started and how has it been like you since she arrived beautifully in your life.
Yeah. Like I said, we're truly blessed to have her in our life. She's our angel. She's the princess of our home. She's 22 years old, as I said now. Talking a little about her diagnosis, she's been diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a permanent brain damage which occurs usually during pregnancy, just after birth. I think mostly hers must have occurred just after the delivery. She was slightly underweight at 2.1 kgs, but I didn't have any problem in my pregnancy, except that I didn't put on weight the last 2 weeks. But my gynecologist didn't think there was anything worrying about that. But yes, my delivery was through an emergency cesarean. What the doctor told me was that she was an IUGR baby, intrauterine growth retardation. That means she was shrinking inside, and there was an emergency cesarean done. And but she was all right. She cried at birth. There was nothing unforeseen which we could see.
Thank you for sharing that, Padma. When a child is born, it's such a happy occasion. I'm sure it was for all of you also.
Yeah.
At what time in her life did you realize that something was amiss, or maybe she wasn't reaching the desired milestones as predicted by the pediatrician and the consultant?
Yeah, so we used to take her for monthly checkups every month. Our pediatrician didn't tell us there was anything amiss, and since it was our first child, and I didn't have any experience in babysitting, so I neither me nor my spouse could make out anything amiss. Nor did the pediatrician tell us, which is very, very surprising. Till about 10 months of age, he didn't tell us. At 10 months of age, he did refer us to a developmental neurologist, but there was no more explanation given to as to why we need to go to a developmental neurologist. So we didn't know what to do, and but after that, at 11 months of age, she had a first seizure. After that, a CT scan and an MRI scan was done, and then she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Um that is briefly when we got to know about her. Her
Um,
milestones were delayed, but just that we didn't know and we didn't have a clue to it till about 11 months of age.
right, Padma. Um, as parent, as a mother and her father, when it was diagnosed, what was the emotion that you guys went through?
Um, we were shocked initially, but I think we took it in our stride, and um, the developmental neurologist guided us very well. We were lucky in that. So we started a physiotherapy. So I used to take her once a week for physiotherapy sessions. And then I used to do intensive physiotherapy 3 times a day at home. She also developed really well, which is typical with most cerebral palsy children. That's what I've heard later. With a child who couldn't sit without support, that means when I used to make her sit, she used to wobble over at 10 months of age. The next 6 months, she, from a child who couldn't sit without support, started sitting with support, without support, sorry, sitting without support, crawling, pulling to stand, and walking with support. In 6 months, that was a huge improvement. So that
Thank
kept
you for
us
sharing
going.
that. Yeah. Yeah. So I have goose flesh, and I can make out from your smile that what a happy moment that must have been for you, Padma.
Yes.
Um, so I also know from the conversations that you and I have had earlier that her growth stopped after some time. Can you tell us about that, Padma?
Not her growth, her physical growth continued. What I meant
Yeah.
was that her physical development in terms of milestones stopped. So she has a brain damage which affects her balance. So she still can't walk without support. And because of the brain damage, her cognitive abilities have also been affected. So she's not taken to using a walker. She walks with our physical support. That is her physical development. Talking about her emotional development, her emotional IQ is beyond us, beyond even me and you. It's she surprises me sometimes with her emotional reactions. And in terms of speech, she understands everything that we talk. Just to give you an example, today afternoon I was telling her that I'm going to be talking about your journey, Priyanka, right from your birth, like we brought you home as a small papa, and then I'm going to be talking till how you are now a big girl, and she was so excited. I mean, it was amazing.
How beautiful, Padma. I know I just feel such a warm glow, all around me
So
listening to
she
that.
she understands most of it, and her speech receptive language is mostly monosyllables, very functional, very appropriate. That's about her development.
Okay. Okay. And also, Padma, this is about her cognitive and her physical development that we spoke about. In addition to the parents being the big support to her, you and your husband, I also know about the school that she goes to, which has played a huge role in her life. So, can you talk us through that, Padma?
Yeah. Uh, since the age of 2 years old, I have been taking to her to a special school. Am I audible, please? I think Vandana, your mic went off. Yeah.
I can hear you. I can hear you, Padma.
Yeah.
I've
Okay.
switched it off.
Yeah, okay. So ever since she was 2 years old, I have been taking her to a special school for special needs children called Spastics Society of Karnataka, as we fondly call it SSK. So in the future, in the conversation, I'll be saying SSK. So SSK is our second home, to say the least. And every school, every special school caters to the special needs children. That's pretty much common. But what is unique about our school? I mean, I would like to say it's our school because I've also been an integral part of it in many different ways, and SSK has been an integral part of my life too. So, what's the unique feature of SSK is that equal attention is paid to the parents too, and equal support, and the planning of the child's curriculum is done in conjunction with the parents. That's what makes SSK stand out. And we love being there. It's our second home. Most of our friends, her and my close friends, are from SSK.
So, for the viewers, I have to add this that Padma and I, whenever we've spoken about her journey, she's always highlighted SSK. She says she has one home at home, and SSK is a other home. So is it right to say, Padma, that it's been a huge support for you and your daughter, and in some ways for your husband also, because it supported Priyanka?
Of course, to my husband too. He loves being there. That's he's and most everybody that knows him also. He stands out in the fathers too. No, not that every time he's there. I mean, because of his job pressures, he's not be able to be there. But like the back end team, he's always there for support.
Um,
That's a conversation in itself.
Sure. And Padma, it was Padma's birthday 3 years back, 3 days back, and I saw the picture she had shared with me of Priyanka sitting with her and cutting the cake. And, I just feel so connected to Priyanka, even without meeting her in person. So thank you for introducing Priyanka to us and all our viewers and listeners today, Padma. We've spoken about Priyanka. Now I want to talk about you as a mother, last 22 years, taking care of your baby, your angel. How has it been for you as a caregiver, Padma?
See, one thing is I have been blessed with a lot of support from my immediate extended family and from my larger extended family too, and from my SSK family. So my immediate family is like my brother-in-law and co-sister. They stay in Australia, Melbourne, Australia. So like I said, she is the princess of the entire extended family. So when she was 2 years old, we visited Melbourne just to make sure she didn't have any other issues which has not been diagnosed in Bangalore. And then of course my spouse, he's been extremely supportive. He's designed our home in such a way that every part of the home is accessible to her. We have an elevator at home. We have a ramp which comes into the house. So when we started reconstructing the house when she was 2 years old, he planned it such a way that every part of the house is accessible to our angel. And then
How beautiful.
coming to my
Yeah.
family, my mother, my brother, and my sister-in-law have been always supportive. They have been my biggest moral support. I've also had a lot of support from a lot of friends in and around my house. And also the SSK friends, SSK family has been ever supportive.
So, for the listeners, one very important lesson that we learn when you are a caregiver to a child with special needs, a solid support structure can prove to be such a blessing for Padma, her in laws, her
Oh,
husband,
yeah, sorry, I
and
missed out my in laws, the most important part. My in laws are no more with us, but when she was younger, they were very, very supportive, and their blessings still stay with us, and the memories with them will keep us going. And I'm
thank you for sharing that.
extremely indebted to them. They stay with us in spirit.
Yeah, so I was saying that, everybody in her family stood by her, supported her, and Padma being strong is also because she had that support around her. I also know, Padma, that you have some other support structures also around you. I know SSK gives you time to
Yeah.
pursue hobbies and
Yeah.
and take away little time from caregiving. What is that about, Padma?
Yeah, so like I said, SSK makes sure that all of us are really well physically, emotionally too. So we used to have yoga classes. So my yoga journey began because we used to have yoga classes, especially our director makes sure that in the time that we are there, some classes are conducted because she understands very well that we can't leave the child home and at home and go out and attend classes. So we used to have yoga classes. So that has been a big boon to me. And then this is the real part which I cherish for life. We used to have recreational programs conducted by volunteers. So once a month, it is to be either dancing competition, singing competition, fashion show, cooking competition. Doesn't that sound exciting, Vandana? so, so Preparing.
Really, really excited. I mean,
So,
I can visualize you being there and knowing the person that you are having fun. So
so
please, yeah.
it is to be only once a month, and I made the best use of it. So preparing for the event and then taking part, and then my mother-in-law was there with me. That was a fun part, and I has to discuss with her what costume I shall I wear. A person who has never danced or sung in her entire life at 30 started doing it. It basically started because my child Priyanka lives on music and dance. She takes a lot. She's a very lean child. She more than food. She lives on dance and music. So music I couldn't do much justice. She doesn't like me singing, but dancing I just play on some Bollywood music and I just dance for her when she's feeling low and she just peps up. So that's how it started. And thanks to these opportunities at SSK, I did a few stage shows too on Women's Day and Children's Day. It's been an immensely memorable and cherishable journey there. So these are a few of my hobbies which I developed there.
So see how beautifully Padma shares with us that though she has a huge responsibility of taking care of Priyanka, but she never forgets to invest in herself, because when she is in a good emotional space, she can take care of Priyanka better. So thank you for sharing that, hobbies, friends, getting involved in things which are a little different from your everyday routine can be so therapeutic, Padma.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah, and also Padma, you've spoken about the hobbies that you pursue, and uh, how do you and Priyanka keep busy at home? Your the two of you.
See, she's a very calm and a cooperative child. So, a few hours of the day, I concentrate on her activities. Like I do some fine motor activities with her, and I do her physical. Since we don't have a physiotherapist coming home now, so I do her physiotherapy about half an hour, and then I do about half an hour to 45 minutes fine motor activities with her. The rest of the time is in all her activities, like which I need to attend to her. And then about a half an hour a day, I take care time off to do walking. Mostly now on I do it on a terrace, and then I do 15 minutes pranayama in the morning. And if I get time, I do 15 minutes of meditation. That is if I get time. I mean, it's not a regular, but pranayama and walking, it's a part of my routine.
Yeah, so that's your me time. And
Yeah,
also, and like you said, you dance, because
yeah,
when
that's
she loves so uh,
that's whenever we feel like I don't I it's there's no time to it. The music keeps playing and I keep jumping around the house. My husband has got used to it. He's like, okay, you guys do what you want.
but any likes about what she likes to eat? Do you have to go out of your way to cook something for her? I mean, how is it with the diet? Why I'm asking, as a caregiver and as a mother, how do you kind of navigate around her everyday needs?
See, most of her food is normal food. So just that her gut is a little sensitive. So normal food without too much spices, but that's pretty much how it is at home. So that's okay. Physically, yes, it's a little challenging now. When she was younger, there was a different kind of a challenge in the sense that her immunity levels were low. So she used to fall sick very often till about 7 years of age. I think that's pretty common with normal children too. Now it's a different kind of challenge. We are a tall family. I'm 5'8", my husband is 6'3". So she's almost my height now. It's a little bit challenging, but I used to be able to walk her inside the house. Outside the house, I've been using a wheelchair from a long time, I think for 5 years or more than that, I'm not sure. Inside the house, I used to be able to walk her around. But the last 1 year, she's become a young adult in her physical sense. So I started using a wheelchair at home too. It makes it easier for me because I don't want to hurt my back, and it doesn't help.
Thank you for sharing a very important lesson, and I would say how to manage a responsibility with people maybe who are going through a similar caregiving journey. Um, one thing that I've picked up from Padma's journey is, in spite of the challenges, life can still be lived. Her smile, her laughs, her involvement in other things. I also know that she's a part of a storytelling a club where she reads out stories for people. So she's kept herself occupied in addition to fully being there for Priyanka. Padma, what would you like to tell the people who are going through a similar caregiving journey?
Um, See, mostly what I would like to say is a special needs child comes into your life not by chance. We are the chosen ones. And I'm sure all of you out there are doing a wonderful job. A big thumbs up and hats off to all of you. I'm just sharing a few inputs from my own experience because probably it's been a long experience of 22 years. So I'm just sharing a few inputs from my experience. First of all, we should accept the child as he or she is. If we don't accept the child, we can't expect society to accept the child. And then, like I said in my own journey, and I've seen a lot of other children, early intervention is very important. As soon as you get to know there's some problem with the child, please start, taking her to a intervention center where they will guide you. Early intervention, the earlier, the better. The child improves faster, the earlier you start the intervention. And then the third is please include the child in all activities. Inclusion of the child in society is very, very important. Yes, early in the earlier stages, when I used to take her out, people used to ask me questions, but I didn't stop taking her out. You need to keep on doing it, and the confidence in us will build up, and what we project to the society will just mirror that. So, if we go out with confidence, now I can see the difference. People talk to her very, very lovingly. When they look at me with the child, I take her to malls. I mean, we take her to malls, we take her everywhere. So she's an integral part of our life and our outings too. So people, look to us with a lot of love. That's what we project. They mirror it. Like we've already been talking about, self-care of the caregiver is equally important. What I would like to say is this caregiving journey of a special needs child is different from other caregiving. It's a caregiving of a lifetime. It's like, what I would like to say is, it's like a marathon. It's not a 100 meters race. So don't be tough on yourself, parents, please. Take it slowly, take it easily. If the child is not able to weight bear, please start using a wheelchair as early as required. There's nothing wrong with it. You're just trying to save your own back, which is very, very important. So that is about the physical part. And yes, emotionally, also we need to be okay. I have been taking professional emotional healing. So that's helped me a lot. And spiritually too, in whatever way you believe. So physically, emotionally, and spiritually, this caregiver needs to be equally fit. So self-care is very, very important too.
Thank you for sharing such important life lessons for a caregiver to a special needs child, Padma. For the viewers, it's important to note what Padma has shared with us. She she invests in her emotional well-being, not only mentally, physically, but spiritually also. So she takes care of her well-being in totality. So that's a great life lesson for everybody who's listening to this program today. Padma, we are coming to the close of our conversation, but I want you to share some happy moments that you've had with Priyanka. I know
There
all
are,
moments are happy. All moments are happy, but any special moment that you would give us the privilege of knowing,
yeah,
Padma?
two events stand out in my mind for life. One was when she was a 2-year-old baby. I mean, not sorry, not 2-year-old. Must have been 12, 13 months. Sorry about that. My husband, he's the one between the two of us who reads up, and I don't do all that. personally don't have time, nor am I that sort of a person. I'll get too confused. So he used to read up, I think, and then when she couldn't crawl, he used to crawl around the house. Imitation is very important, they say, right? So after 2 weeks she started crawling and she crossed the doorstep, which is a very, very important event in a child baby's life. So it was a celebration at home. That was one event. And the other one was when there was an inter-school competition, almost 30, I'm not sure, but in the fancy dress competition, there were 150 children who were participating. So I always think of Priyanka as a divine soul. So just like Meera in the North Indian tradition, we have what is called as Andal in the South Indian tradition. So I wanted to see her dressed up as Andal, and among 150 children, she got the third prize. That was the happiest moment of my life. A non-verbal child, I don't know how it happened. Just magic.
I mean, I can just feel your happiness here. And also, Padma, I remember when we were sharing this before this conversation, you told me that she looked the part that she was dressed up
Oh yes,
as.
she was. I that my friends know that, so I'll share with you also sometime. She's just made for it. So what I would just want to say is I'm really fortunate to have born this divine soul in my womb and to have birthed her.
Sending you a big hug, Padma.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So viewers, that's our conversation for today, and you can see that Padma and I are wearing green.
Yeah.
Green is a color, and Padma is going to tell us about why we are wearing green today.
Uh, we are wearing green today to honor all the children with cerebral palsy. A big hug and kisses to all the children out there with CP and the other disabilities too. We are all one. We will be strong.
Thank you so much for being here with us today, Padma. At Caregiver Saathi, each one of our team members is privileged to hear your conversation and is honored to be able to host you today. Thank you so much for your
It's
time
it's
and just this conversation with me. I feel so blessed, Padma. Thank you so much.
it's my privilege to be here on Caregiver Saathi sharing my journey on behalf of my non-verbal child. I am getting emotional at this point. So it's her journey I am sharing as a voice of her. It's my tribute to my angel.
Sending her so much love and so many prayers for her, Padma. And
Thank you for including us in the Caregiver Saathi family, one more family to be part of. I'm just receiving all your love from Bhavana ma'am, from all of you. Thank you so much.
we are fortunate to have you. Thank you, Padma.
Thank you. Bye bye.